What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran and I help people using a spiritual perspective. Today, guys, I recently went over something, money meditations. I recently wanted to see if they work. I wanted to see if there was proof that there was a positive, a legitimate correlation between listening to these sort of binaural sounds that attract luck and abundance, or doing these money meditations, which often just have a bunch of affirmations followed by, again, generic binaural type of beats or music playing on in the background, some type of instrumental, right? I wanted to see if there was an actual correlation, okay? So you might have noticed over the last couple of days I was posting a lot of, here's my tarot, if you guys want tarot. I think I did a donation thing. That wasn't on accident. I was doing that on purpose to see if there was a correlation. I was doing it for science. I was doing it to see. I was trying to see if there was real links between listening to them and not. And the reason that I wanted to do this is because it's kind of predatory, these things. These money meditations, these channels, okay? And it's predatory for a few reasons. One, it's of course, preying on people's insecurity that they want more money, because people go through things in life. Sometimes they have money, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's really bad, sometimes it's pretty good, and everywhere in between. So it creates this avenue for people where they think that they can just kind of go and listen to these things, and somehow everything will just work out fine. That there's no real lesson going on with your finances or not having enough money or any kind of realizations that you might come to in periods like that about yourself or about life, right? It doesn't pay attention to any of that. It's just saying, hey, if you listen to this, you'll get money. You'll get what you need. You'll get the job, career, X, Y, and Z, right? So it's predatory in that way and dishonest, because a lot of these same people will also claim that everything happens for a reason. So if everything happens for a reason, aren't you also supposed to be broke or going through a period where your finances are not in order? And often when you're on a spiritual journey, they're not in order. Your finances are in flux. Why? Because you're figuring shit out. You're new to something. You might have lived your whole life doing these types of jobs or these types of things, and now you've discovered that really what you want to do with your life is this, but that means you have to start over. You have to build something. So it makes sense that there might be times where your finances are in flux, or you've quit a job, or the things that you've been, your stability that you've tried to maintain kind of comes crashing down because life forces that out of us. So it's dishonest to think that you can just go straight to a money meditation and have all of your monetary problems fixed overnight. That's dishonest, right? And so leading the forefront of this dishonesty is Mary Kate. I don't know if you guys know who that is. It's just a YouTuber, very big law of attraction YouTuber kind of person. She has a lot of these money meditation stuff, okay? And a quick side note, how come all of the people who do these money meditations and these law of attraction, it's always a pretty female, it's always an attractive woman? And let's be real for a second, guys, people. I think we all know that the people who are going to be the most successful or get what they want out of life are going to be attractive women, okay? So let's be honest, okay? It's not sexist, it's not anything like that. It's just obviously attractive people have better chances of success, okay? Whether they're men or women, but obviously women in this case, all right? So it's disingenuous, okay, to just assume that because this successful, good-looking person who preys on people's insecurity is gonna, that's gonna trickle to everybody else, okay? Because that's a fantasy, right? And it's a fantasy for the reasons that I've already talked about. But I still wanted to see if it worked. I still wanted to see, because there is an attractiveness to it, right? You are going through something, you need money maybe for whatever reason. It could be better reasons than my reasons, but still, there's reasons why we would want more money or have some money coming in. So we go to these things with some kind of good intention, and you have, a lot of anecdotal evidence, right? And, again, it's this type of, 8-hour loops of some type of generic sound playing, or it's a money meditation with a bunch of affirmations in it with the generic music playing in the background, okay? This is very typical, Anybody could do it. I could make something like that. And, does that mean that the video that I make is going to work for me or work for other people? Like, is there anything actual scientific or proven about the sounds, about what's being said? Is there anything that's actually legitimately true about these meditations or these sounds, right? And that's what I wanted to figure out. I wanted to see if it was clear, if there was a clear indication of some kind of positive effect. So again, that's why I was putting all these things. I was trying to see if there was a correlation. So I would do the meditations every day, and I've done them. I've done them for about 2.5, 3 weeks now. And I've been doing regular meditations as well, but I wanted to, because of course that would even help, right? So I wanted to see. So my research, I guess if you want to call it research, came up with pretty, I don't even want to say mixed results, but came up with more negative results than positive results, okay? Because there was times when I did actually receive money. But what I noticed is that everybody has these very anecdotal responses in the comments. Listen to this, 20 grand, I received 20 grand, 10 grand, 5 grand, new job, all this stuff over varying times, right? 2 weeks to 6 months later. There's one comment that said, I listened to this meditation and 6 months later, I'm running a successful business, and you think like, well, maybe that had something to do with your own actions rather than this particular meditation, right? And that's kind of what I began to realize. So of the times that I actually earned money from after listening to these meditations, so I did it 15 times, I think, these types of sounds meditations. I did it for different times, and I did it more than once or twice so that I could build up this openness to it, rather than going in with some sort of cynicism, which was initially what I was going through. And of course I wanted to be open, and I did it enough times to see if there was, of course, better results, right? And I did them at different times, and I did different types of meditations, but I wanted to see if it was just all anecdotal nonsense, or what was really going on, right? So of the times that I made money, out of those 15 times, it only happened 3. Only 3 times out of 15 there was any financial increase, okay, in my own personal bank account. Now, of 2 of those times, it was something that I had already done. So it was an action that I had took. So, for instance, posting a tarot reading, okay, or posting that link with the donations, okay? There's times, do a money meditation, and then like a day later I'd get like a tarot reading, okay? So then you think, oh, well, is that because of the meditation, or is it because I did something, because I took an action, right? There's a lot of law of attraction. You start to think that you don't have to do anything, right? How true is it? Is the affirmations really that true, or is it the fact that you took an action and did something? So of those 3 times, 2 were pretty much of my own volition, things that I did. And they might have worked out anyway, even if I had never done the meditation, right? Because you can't really tell, because it's an action that you took. You can't say, well, the actions that I took that had positive results were because of something else outside of me, right? You can't say that. You can't logically make that leap. You can't even spiritually make that leap, because again, it's dishonest. It's dishonest to what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. If things are going to happen for a reason, then you better believe that your brief period of poverty is also happening for a reason. Okay, so then there's only one time of this 3 that it was a complete unexpected, right? It didn't come from any donation thing or anything like that. It's just completely unexpected. So someone, just happened to pay me back something, okay, or pay me for something. Happen to get some type of monetary, sort of, I guess you could say, like a gift or something like that. It wasn't through the donations on my YouTube channel, but it was just from my social circle, okay? So then you start to think, well, okay, even then, after doing a money and that came in, was it because of something that I said, right? So say if I did a money meditation and then I said to somebody, man, I'm really struggling right now, and then they decided to give me money. Again, I took some type of action, right? So they felt bad, or they wanted to help, and they wanted to gift me something. So did it really have anything to do with the meditation or the fact that I presented myself in a way that was, less than secure, right? So would that actually be the thing that brought it in? Because you see all these anecdotal responses, like I was saying, starts a business, becomes successful, listens to the meditation, gets a job the next day, listens to the meditation, and people are like, oh, 40 minutes later, someone gave me $100. You have all of this positivity, and that's all nice and stuff, but there's something kind of fake about it. There's something that just doesn't really add up. And it's like, is it really that easy? Is life that easy? Listening to a money meditation and all of your financial problems are where you don't have to take any action, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to think differently, you don't have to change your relationship with money, you don't have to work on yourself, you don't have to find new ways of making money, you don't have to let go of old things. Is it really just as easy as listening to a money meditation? Because that's what those anecdotal comments present themselves as. Because those people probably aren't being honest or even thinking about the real life actions or the real life things that they're saying that brings those in. So is it because of the money meditation that somebody gets a job? And how long after the money meditation are we allowed to maybe make a clean break? You listen to it and then 8 months later, somebody gives you, of your own actions of what you've been working on, invest in your business, they give you 20 grand or something like that. Is that because of the money meditation or because you did something? Now, you listen to a money meditation and then 2 hours later someone gives you $100. Well, then you have a little bit more evidence to say, well, maybe the money meditation did something. But then you still have to look at your own actions. You still have to see, well, what did I say to people? What did I do? Because you could ask somebody for money at the beginning of the day, do a money meditation, and then later on they end up giving you money. And again, well, maybe they were always going to give you money. Maybe the money meditation had nothing to do with it. So the conclusion that I was coming to as I was doing all these meditations and listening to these sounds is that the power, of course, is more or less in your belief, right? If you truly, really, genuinely believe that the money meditation will bring you something, there's, of course, going to be a higher chance that it will, right? That's a little bit natural. So there's like this inconclusiveness to it all. You can really, really, really believe that you're totally open to this idea and that this is going to come in, and by doing this money meditation, you will receive a financial miracle or a windfall of cash or something to help you out, more clients, X, Y, and Z, right? So the more open you are, the better. The more positive you feel about it, the better, naturally. Yet, at the same time, you can't deny your own actions. You can't deny the things that are going to happen anyway, because ultimately, it's a cheap trick. It's a cheap trick that people on some pedestal will sell to you, and they will see success because they're the ones that are selling it, right? So relying on it to get you financial miracles or relying on it is not good. That's not a good idea, right? What I noticed was a positive feeling. What elicited a better response was when you let go. When you did the money meditation, when you weren't trying to go into it in the sense of, well, I hope that something good happens after, because those are the times that you don't really see anything. I mean, those times I remember leaving the meditation and thinking, this didn't do fuck all for me. But then you go to the, you kind of to get to that point where you're letting go of it after, where you're like, you know what? At some point in this meditation, it stopped becoming about money and it started becoming about just relaxing and being in my, being with my own presence and not actually worrying about money, right? So it's almost like you stop paying attention to the meditation itself. And so then you actually see some type of positive result. And so if that's the case, then you could just do regular meditation, or you could just let go in general. You could just work on that, or, working on letting go is kind of paradoxical. It's like trying to relax. You don't try to relax. But the idea is letting go would then give you better results than actually focusing on trying to bring in money into your life. So no, they don't really work. You can't rely on them. And the effects of them are very inconclusive. There's not enough evidence to really suggest directly that listening to them will absolutely bring in you some type of abundance. Even if you're completely open and you really, really believe, there has to be some other kind of thing going on. There has to be some availability towards that, right? There has to be something. There has to be some action that you're taking or something that's already existing for you, right? Somewhere that people can already get to. So that was my sort of, I guess you could call it, experience with money meditations. I don't recommend them to anybody. Again, it's like trying to put a Band-Aid on something that's really going on in your life. It's very nice to think that you could just go straight to a money meditation and then all your problems would be solved, but that would require no personal work, no personal transformation, no change. And to me, that's not really a spiritual awakening or any growth or even like a life worth living if you think that you could just get things that quick, that easy. So I don't trust the anecdotal responses. I think a lot of them are dishonest and not being fully aware of what's going on. And I also suspect that a lot of them just say that as a way of affirming and put it in the present tense, like, oh, I just got this money, So I suspect a lot of people are saying it like that as well. So that's sort of my experience with it. I don't even want to be too cynical about it. I don't even want to say that you should never even try it, but it seems to me that a better way of bringing things in, whether it's romance, love, money, jobs, good luck, health, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, what works for me or what I've seen work for me in my past and what I see really works for others, even if they're not aware, is really just that last step of letting go. When you're not so concerned or you're not trying to chase it anymore, that it actually can then sort of just fall into your lap.